What is good, everybody? It's your boy Kadrian Wolf coming at you with a review from the RWBY trailers. All colored trailers from volume 1 up to now. Anyway, I'm going to tell you guys about what I feel have we lost and what we've gained from where Monty was to where RWBY is now, and how much we've either had a downgrade or even had a upgrade. But let's figure that out. I've already watched RWBY volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, etc, etc. Anyway, I've got all 5, but number 4 is not right here right now. I'm letting a friend borrow it. He wants to catch up on RWBY and he hasn't gave it back yet. So you got volume 1, yeah, sorry, these aren't in order. Volume 5, volume 3, and volume 2. Yes, that's all you get. Anyway, I also have the book. Yes, it is beautiful. Yes, I wish I could do a review on this, but I will say that, spoiler alert for all you fans that have not watched or seen RWBY or has attempted to see it and wants to see it on their own terms, and you're watching this video, spoiler alert, sorry. And I also bought this mug, but you know, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool. Anyway, back to the situation, what I'm talking about. I wanted to do this review on what is RWBY, pretty much. So when I could see from the red trailer, it felt like a video game, kind of. You know, that's what it's pretty much based on, is a video game kind of style graphics and stuff like that. When I was seeing RWBY just hack and slash her way through all these excuse me, bleh, these Grimm, you know, the beta Grimm, before we figured out what they would look like, you know. Anyway, how she was hacking slashing her way through this felt like a hint of Dynasty Warriors and Darksiders 2, with a little flair of a little bit of Devil May Cry up in there. It was kind of like one of those games, you know, or Yaiba, if you guys ever played a Ninja Gaiden game and got the spin-off game Yaiba. I don't have the game anymore because, you know, had to get a PS4 somehow. Anyway, seeing her just cut up these Grimm and run around with Crescent Rose, shooting people, dragging people, killing people, well, Grimm, was just all the more satisfying, and it got me hooked. What actually got me hooked on Monty Oum would have to be his Dead Fantasy series, and I didn't know it was made by the same person. And but I didn't know, what I truly didn't know was Haloid. Me and my little brother and my older brother were sitting down watching on my mother's laptop how this was just this Halo game, and it looked like, oh, it's a YouTube about Halo. So we're like, okay, cool. And we just see it and we're like, what's going on? This is super cool, but it doesn't feel like Halo. What is this? Oh my goodness, Samus? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What is going on? And it was just awesome. And we thought we would never find that video again. Years later, bam, RWBY's out, and we're just watching the trailers, seeing how RWBY was, and it just felt like one of those type of games. It felt like Devil May Cry with a few hints of Dark Souls. Ciders, sorry. So hearing all this is just awesome. And then we go over to the white trailer. Yeah, I said white, not Weiss. There is already a Weiss trailer, volume 5. Awesome. Anyway, seeing how they react to the situation, it felt like a Prince of Persia kind of game. You know, like you got this one person that's running, like just opens the door, just opens the door to this big place. Oh, also a hint of God of War in there. And bam, there's this giant monster-like person coming at you, and you're just like, oh, what am I gonna do? I'm a tiny person. Or Shadow of the Colossus. But I would say that the climbing is maybe a little bit too far-fetched, because it felt more, I'm just gonna jam it into you, pretty much. It was one of those. Sorry, I'm watching the yellow trailer right now. Anyway, it felt so satisfying to see this this one girl just running around circles trying to fight this guy, and that's what I enjoyed. I enjoyed seeing them fight someone half their size and doing it in a very fast-paced way. That's the type of games I'm into, and that's the type of shows and movies and stuff like that that I would sit down and watch, and I enjoyed it. Seeing the, anyway, moving on to the Black trailer, it felt like Ninja Gaiden or Ninja Blade. That's what was awesome about it. It was that it was like fighting robots, fighting the giant spider-like robots. Spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, is that there's this super awesome robot scene where her and Adam are fighting this robot, and it is just awesome. It's like the walking definition of a ninja-like video game. And that's how her character is, and that is what I love about Blake so much, is that she was like a ninja. You wouldn't see her be all, you know, she's calm and collected, but you wouldn't see her do barely nothing, especially nowadays. Much better. Anyway, seeing from volume 4 and 5, from what we hadn't have from volume 1, 2, and 3, was just it wasn't sad. It was just a different direction, because with Monty, it was more about the action. With Rooster Teeth, it's more about the story, which is awesome, and we want to know much about it, but we also want to get the fight scenes back. Dang, Yang, just grabbing it, aren't you? Okay, anyway, running around seeing Blake in volume 1 and 3 and volume 4 and 5, you can tell the difference. How she would teleport on almost every combo that she would do. Every move, every step would have something to do with that, at least. And even with her her side with chain, or whatever the thing is called, it would be, how do I explain it? It would be just all at once. But in volume 4 and 5, I know we didn't see it much in volume 4, but in volume 5, we would see her just kind of block with the sword or strike with it. But we wouldn't see her pull it off and just like go all ninja and just teleport around. We see her teleport like maybe 3 good times in volume 5. And in the scene in volume 4 where she's fighting this Grim, can't remember, it's called Si Fai Long, I think that's what it's called. Yes, I got a RWBY cup. Basically, seeing that was just how she was falling throughout the air, and she was gliding like, oh, you're not gonna shoot me, oh, you're not gonna shoot me. She could have been teleporting that time. That would have been more satisfying to see her character do that than to just kind of move to the side a little bit. And it would be really cool if we seen her kind of teleport back and forth to maybe even confuse the Grim, to leap behind it and then just rush down and just cut the wing. That would have been more satisfying. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love the scene, I love everything about it, but what I didn't truly feel that was more satisfying for me was to see what they took away from Blake. I'm watching yellow trailer, like I said, and it is really distracting, and I don't want to turn it off because it's on one of the best parts, but anyway, that's a good pose. Just what we lost was the whole video game ninja Blake. Now we've got more political huntress Blake, which is not bad, but it's not as satisfying as to see her character anymore that it is to see her now. And moving on to the Yang character short, and what we had here, you would see it was just awesome. Okay, seeing her character making all these people fly, making craters, making glass explode for some reason, and it made her character seem like everything she did was badass. She came from being this hardcore badass, free spirit, easygoing type chick to Bruce Lee in volume 4 and 5. I'm not saying Bruce Lee's bad or anything like that. No. What I'm saying is, when I think of Bruce Lee, I think of his movies. I think of how he would react to certain things, and he would fight people one-on-one, or Ip Man, just one-on-one, or multiple enemies, just beating the crap out of them. And then seeing Yang from who she was back in the day, and how she would knock out one person and it would affect like 10 more on the other side, and then she would dodge a punch, knock this person, and you would see the shotgun blast hit this person. And usually they have, you know, aura, and that's why one of the things that I've noticed is that we don't have much of Grimm. We don't have much of people to just fly in the air anymore, you know, punching bags, and we don't see more Grimm. We see like one big Grimm in like one volume. Crow pretty much killed all the Grimm before we could even have a good fight scene, which is not bad, but, and I can understand that in volume 4, and then now in volume 5, there's all this chaos, but we don't see what's truly going on. We don't see any Grimm anywhere practically. Yeah, we got the Lancer, but even that fight seemed like it was dragged out, and it was limited, just like how Yang is. Yang is limited to the things that she would usually do. And I know that she's going through this kind of PTSD thing where she's trying to control herself and not just focus on her semblance. See what I did there? This right here. This is the semblance. This is not. So I know that all the characters are limited because now they're just fighting one-on-one pretty much, which is still kind of sloppy. But not that I'm saying it's bad, it's just, it's not what we had. Now it's, I'm fighting this person. But even back in the day, those fights would have been awesome. Because in volume 3, I enjoyed volume 3. Volume 3 was like, it's like where it was supposed to be in RWBY. We had Grimm, we had awesome fight scenes, we had a tournament, which is awesome, and we got to see our characters. 4, just like in the RWBY. It didn't feel dragged out. There was music being played, which we don't usually get in volume 4 and 5. We get some music, but it's not how it is anymore. It's not, I mean, we get like small soundtracks, and if it's a really good fight, we got an actual song. But I'm talking about like remixes and just music itself, not just songs. And that was another thing that took all these videos and stuff by storm, and I enjoyed it. But that is all for this part of the video. I will be making part 2 later on, and I should be having a better, more understanding of what I'm talking about because I'm kind of all everywhere. So I will hit you guys back up in the next video. Peace.